army and a high upkeep army he has with that expansion. So he's constantly also, the orc player is also buying dust to, he's very paranoid, and that's definitely a good thing. It's better to be paranoid than to be dead. So he's buying dust of appearance to scout for any wards that might be there, or also it's mainly actually for the shades that he's not sure if they're there or not. But he has been keeping pretty good tabs on the undead player space, and he probably, he just wasn't certain. So definitely, I guess an okay move. It's okay, like I said, it's better to be paranoid and be sure than to not be. So right now, the undead player is sending out one of his skeletal warriors, and this is the first time he's actually going to see this expansion. And he can actually click on the gold mine during the game to see how much gold has been mined from it. You can take a look at the bottom right. There's 12,500 gold in the other gold mine, and now we're at like 11. So about almost 1,000 gold or so has been taken out from that gold mine. So you can kind of preemptively know, shoot, this guy's going to have at least a 600 to 800 gold advantage on me. What is he using that money for? And now he realizes, heck, I don't want this to be any more of a threat. I need to take it out. So the undead or orc player scouted this out. He's trying to set up a little bit for a push. He's going to try to make this fight happen here, and the way you do that is cast and stare on those fiends. When you bring those fiends way up front, it's definitely a bad move for the undead player, because it's seriously going to cause them to go down really quick. You notice he's also opted for a Crypt Lord as his third hero. Imagine Frost Armor on a Crypt Lord when he's holding the front lines like that. It would just be insane. He already has high armor. Combine that with Spiked Carapace possibly, using Impale, or even if he goes for the Beetle route, definitely Frost Armor, big, good way to go. So this orc player ran his Farce here in through that battle and all the way up behind. Probably more as a distraction, and it could have been an accident there, but he is actually going to lose this Lich here. He opted to either coil. Oh no, he isn't going to lose the Lich. He gets it out, I believe. Oh, he does. Okay, I thought he was going to lose either the Lich or the Crypt Lord there, but again, really smart coil usage and bringing his hero back from those front lines. He was able to save both those heroes. So now let's compare food counts. 42 food compared to 65 food. Orc still has a very, very big advantage here, and we're halfway through the replay here, and he's just not playing offensively enough to try to finish this game. He just really is not going to make this final blow until it's like 100% assured that he's going to do it. He's going to wait until that undead player's gold mine has run out before he actually goes in there and makes some final moves here. It's kind of a risky move. I mean, you do some really good pushes here, and he could easily bring all his army in there and kind of force his opponent and pick off units and save his own units by making the fight in his opponent's base here. And he could have done that at the 15-minute mark. He could have done it now. It's at the 18-minute mark to finish this game. But instead, he's playing it a little bit risky now. He's not able to creep. He's not creeping to get any more hero levels, so he's just kind of, both players are just sitting around. It's a little bit actually boring to commentate now at this at this point. So just Orcs players trying to do it. Now I wrote some notes here. I'm going to see if I can read a little bit of them so I can make a few more points. See if I missed anything here. Oh man, we're really far into this. Oh yeah, and I had mentioned earlier that the big counter to using bats was to get that armor upgrade on the destroyers. Now this is something, if you're going to go destroyers, that I would probably get early on. You don't need like a bunch of armor on it. It helps, but just getting that one research armor of the Carapace. I'm sorry, it's a creature Carapace, I believe is the upgrade name, and you can use that to stop or in case one bat won't instantly kill your destroyer. One bat cost compared to a destroyer cost is obviously more in favor of that orc player. You know, one bat sacrifice to die for a destroyer is definitely worth that trade-off. So, not to mention the splash damage that it does to other destroyers, and he can use the wyverns to kind of fight it off here. So, he still hasn't started the research on that. I think he's going to start it very soon here. I think I have it wrote down they started at like 1945, so we should see it soon. 35, okay. So he started just now, 1935. The undead player knows that he's going to have to push this orc expansion. He wanted to do that earlier and stop it, but now he's going in for a second try. So he's going to be scouted out by these wolves. The orc player was already setting up serpent wards, which is kind of a strange choice, I think. I think he got the serpent wards to kind of help fight against those destroyers. They do piercing damage, but they can also be absorbed by the destroyer, so I don't think they were necessarily a good move. I would have opted for a second level of hex instead of these, but in having this set up, it kind of they're like little portable towers here. He's got 3 of those up. This orc player isn't gonna, or this undead player isn't going to go in. He knows he's beat army wise, and now he's going to have to put up with 3 serpent wards going up all the time. Nah, he's not going to let that fly. So the orc player is still having to play very defensively, he still thinks that the undead player is right out there, but in a second here, he's going to pop a speed scroll because he's like, oh wait, this guy's not here anymore. I need to catch up. So he's going to pop the speed scroll to try to catch his opponent, maybe shopping at the Goblin Merchant or at his expansion. So he sent that wolf out to expansion. He knows he's not there. He knows he's not at the Goblin Merchant. So he's quite possibly creeping a high-level creep camp. And where is he going right now? He's trying to creep out this level 7 Gargantuan Turtle sponsors the south of his natural expansion. So he's like, okay, my opponent's creeping now. Now I can try to be a little cocky and make a push here because I can catch my opponent low on life from creeping a high-level camp. I can kind of force him to burn another TP to come to my base. That's 650 gold that he would have wasted this fight. So Lich now at level 3 is opted for level 2 Frost Nova. Definitely the right move to make. At level 3, your Lich should have level 2 Frost Nova. But instead of opting for Dark Ritual, which he actually did, I would have opted for having that level 1 Frost Armor. And in this fight, you're going to see how it definitely would have helped. Another example of how good Frost Armor would have been. I mean, not only is it good because an Orc player is going to be trying to use Ensnare and focus on Fiends, but again, this Crypt Lord is going to be pretty much the meat of your whole army here. The front lines of your army definitely would have been nice to have them because Orc opponents can be using Grunts and Raiders still at this point to attack it, and Frost Armor was still a viable choice here. The only things that are not affected by the Frost Armor is going to be the ranged heroes and also the air units here. So big fight going on here, and again, he's having to use Coil to try to heal off this Crypt Lord, but now the Orc opponent says, hey, I don't want that to happen again, so as soon as I see that Death Knight, bam, I'm going to Hex him before I go in for that final hit on the Crypt Lord, and he's not going to be able to cast the Coil. So that's what just happened now. You see this Undead Death Knight, level 5 Death Knight, had more than enough mana. The cooldown was ready for it, but wasn't able to save his Crypt Lord. And the Lich is still in the back there. So he still has his Lich. Orc player lost a lot there. That's where Destroyers were really starting to shine there. The Undead player did a really, really good job of kind of microing his Destroyers back and saving them from Bats and Wyvern Focus Fire. So although he lost a good bit amount now, we have 56 food compared to 42 food now. So the Orc player actually lost a lot in that. So maybe being a little bit more cocky, he lost. That was actually one of the only fights I think that he lost during this game here. So he still kind of has the advantage though. Now the Undead player doesn't have an expansion. Although he does have a food army advantage here, the Orc player still has his expansion, is going to be able to refortify all the food that he lost now. I mean, look at that. He's got 2 Bats and Kui on both his Kui on both his bestiaries, and he's also producing a Wyvern out of one of them. So he's going to be able to refortify his air army, which is going to be really good counter to those Destroyers, even with the 1 level of upgrade here. So another small moment here. It's decision time for both these players. Goldmine has run out for the Undead player, and the Goldmine's about to run out, or has run out already for the Orc player. Yep, Orc player's run out, but he still has his expansion. He still has 7,000 gold in this expansion. So if he can protect this expansion